Vicky Marie. Just caught me having a little, I wasn't expecting the intro video to finish there. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this batshit crazy world that we live in. So many things going on all over the world and never know where to start sometimes. There's always something to talk about, always a case to recap on. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to look at a case that we've looked at when it actually happened back in April. Now, I've not been to Australia for a little while because everything's gone very quiet in the Samantha Murphy case. That was the big case we were following from Australia. And I think we've got to wait till, I think it's October or November, isn't it, before Patrick Stevenson is back in court. But this is another case that we looked at back in April because in Ballarat in Australia, where Samantha Murphy was murdered, there were 3 murders, alleged murders, I should say, virtually one after the other in the early sort of couple of months of this year, whereas last year in that area there were no murders and they were all women. So, you know, it caused there was a big uproar, wasn't there? There were demonstrations against violence against women. Samantha's husband Mick went along to the demonstrations to talk. You know, so there was a lot going on. So we're going to look in this video, we're going to look at one of those cases that is coming up to trial. And that is the case of Hannah McGuire. I'm going to do, the picture's up there in the right hand corner. I'm just going to put it up bigger just so that we can get a look at her. So this is Hannah. She's 23 years old when she was murdered, allegedly, by her ex-boyfriend. And this is what we're going to talk about today, about he has pled not guilty. So what we're going to have a look at the circumstances, see if why we think he's pled not guilty. Does he have a chance of getting off with this? You know, how awful for a family for him to plead not guilty, if he is guilty, of course. But anyway, I'm not, you know, allegedly he's guilty. So that's Hannah, and that's who we're going to be talking about today. But first of all, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for watching, for sharing a little bit of your day with me, because, you know, time is precious. So I appreciate that you spend some of your time with me. I really do, to talk over these cases, to listen to me waffling on. And, you know, just it's... Yeah, because I would be watching these cases anyway. I would be, you know, I've always been sort of interested in true crime. I'd be looking at all these things anyway. But of course, it's much better to be looking at it with like-minded people and getting input, etc. So thank you for spending your time with me. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And thank you for liking it. I hope you'll like this video. Leave your DNA on the like button. I hope you'll subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I hope you'll join as a member if you want to see exclusive live streams. Got a live stream tonight, a members live stream tonight for both the levels, Carry On Chatting and Let's Chat. And we're definitely going to be talking about to do with the Madeline Soto case. I've got quite a lot of information from the police, but just as I get some information, more information comes out. So there are video interviews out now that I've seen on other YouTubers' channels. I'm trying to get hold of them, but I was sent some audio from Jen that I you know, to be perfectly honest, because there's been so much released just lately, I'm not sure which ones I've played and which ones I haven't played. So that's probably what we'll be listening to. We may be able to watch the video of Stefan Stearns being humiliated in the police station, which I'd love to show. But, you know, it's on some of the other YouTubers, the bigger YouTubers' channels. But, you know, you try and ask them if they'll allow you to use it for fair use. They don't answer. So, you know, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. Or I have requested it, so when it arrives for me, maybe I'll just be able to play it then. So yeah, thank you to all my members. Please join the chat tonight. It's only $1.99 a month to join, and you get to use the members emojis, join in the special live stream, etc. in the Let's Chat level. Okay, also thank you people that have sent me super stickers, PayPal'd me, or bought me a Ko-fi. All of that is so much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to say hello to people who are here, and then we'll get on to talking about what's going on in this case. So, hi Chumba, hi David, hi Maria, hi Lily, hi Fluffy, Heather, hi Heather. Okay. Now then, I did say hello to Maria, didn't I? I think I did. Okay, so let's go back to this. Now, this poor girl, this beautiful young girl, as I say, 23 years old. And what did she do wrong? She finished with her boyfriend. That's what this is what her boyfriend decided. You're not allowed to finish with him. He's too important for that. He's much, much too important to be finished with. And that was what she did. That's her crime, if you like. That's what she was killed for, allegedly. So this is her boyfriend. Now, in my opinion, he was punching well above his weight. Every time I see a photo of the two of them together, I just think, what did she see in him? But anyway, there's no accounting for taste. Bless her, she was young. Maybe she outgrew him. That may be exactly, that often happens. Because, of course, young girls, they get involved sometimes, and boys, young men, get involved with the wrong person when you're young, don't you? You have different values, what you find attractive. Then as you get older, and sometimes you outgrow people, and maybe he got possessive, or maybe he had I don't know why they split up, but they did. And then she disappeared. Hannah disappeared after splitting up with I think his name's Lackey or something. It doesn't matter what his name is, really. Now, they'd bought a house together. And this was a picture that appeared on their social media. So at one point they were in a serious relationship. They bought this house together, and they were proud of it. So at one point they were happy. Who knows what went wrong? Things go wrong, don't they, in relationships? And sometimes it's hard to pinpoint the actual cause unless there's something specific happened. So I've got quite a lot of nice pictures of Hannah. I say 23 years old, teaching assistant or a teacher, worked at a school. Usual, that they say this woman's such a lovely person. No one could believe that anyone could do this to her. She was so nice. But this twonk, or allegedly decided if he couldn't have her, then nobody else was having her. So there you go. Anyway, so for those of you who don't remember much about the case itself, we'll recap it, because when we were earlier in the year, when we were covering Samantha Murphy, big time, if you like, while she was still missing, and then when the police decided that she had been murdered, but they hadn't arrested anybody yet, then they arrested Patrick Stevenson. As we were sort of dealing with, as we were looking at that case in great detail, that's when this happened in April. And let's have a little in fact, as I say, there were 3 women died in Ballarat in the first couple of months of the year. So we're going to have a look at this particular case. So we're going to have a look what this lady in The Guardian particularly had to say about her, because she knew her or she'd met her. So let's have a look what she had to say. So Ballarat has lost another remarkable woman. In this dark time, I recall her enthusiasm and joy. So the death of Hannah McGuire is the latest in a series of tragedies that have rocked our regional Victorian city. Oops. But grief will not define us. So, I want to show you, this is what I was looking for earlier. So this is where all this happened. So we're in Australia. This is Ballarat, where Samantha Murphy went missing. Sebastopol was where another lady allegedly was murdered in a murder-suicide. And Hannah's burning car with her body inside it was found just on the outskirts of Ballarat. But Hannah herself is from Clunes, which is in Victoria. There it was. There. So Hannah was from Clunes, but I think her burning car was found round about here somewhere. And as I say, Samantha Murphy went missing from Ballarat. Was murdered in Ballarat, and the other girl, which I'll have to look up her name in a moment, she was allegedly killed in a murder-suicide in Sebastopol, but that case hasn't, I haven't had any verdict on that, because of course the alleged perpetrator of that, he killed himself. So yeah, there's Melbourne for people, places that you might know more in Australia. Melbourne and Ballarat is just sort of inland, isn't it? So that's the geographical area we're talking about. Let's go back to what this lady said. So in December last year, my sons were running laps around the oval as part of their school's colour run. Streams of water flowed from the fire trucks parked on the sidelines. The teachers were squirting hundreds of kids in coloured chalk as they darted past. Squealing in glee and holding out for a hero was pumping over the speakers. So let's also, we need to remember that in Australia, in sort of February, March, April, that is summertime. It's hot. It's not the winter time. It's just, I suppose they're just going into the spring now. I don't know. It's all very confusing. They've been through their winter while we went through our summer, and I suppose it's springtime now in Australia. There's one particular video I treasure from that day now more than ever. It shows my son sprinting through the colour gauntlet as Hannah McGuire, one of the school's staff members, runs up to him and immerses him in a sea of colour, jumping up and down jovially. I remember laughing along with her and admiring her enthusiasm and joy. I did not know her well, but she was always warm, encouraging, and filled with energy. Now, I know photos are only photos, but she does look like that. Every photo that we look at of her, she's smiling. She's happy. She probably was a really good teacher's assistant, or whatever the actual position was. She just looks like, she's full of joy. And it's just even worse, isn't it? When these twonks decide to extinguish real bright lights, bright lights that have been extinguished by twonks just because they can't cope with rejection. It's just horrible, isn't it? So Hannah's body was found in a burnt out car on the outskirts of Ballarat last week. So of course this article was written at the time, in April this was. While her family, the school community, and all those in her expansive circle of friendship are left dealing with the loss of their loved one and the harrowing circumstances surrounding her death, the Ballarat region is reeling in the shock of yet another fracture in its community. So our city has experienced several tragic, unrelated events in quick succession over the past several months. So this was it. So 3 quite substantial cases of the deaths of women, the murders of women, happened very quickly together. And as I say, last year, in 2023, there were no murders in Ballarat. And then just suddenly, in the first few months of the year, there were 3. the disappearance of 51-year-old Samantha Murphy, and the subsequent charging of a 22-year-old for her alleged murder. Yeah, again, the youth of the person charged. And the person charged in Hannah McGuire's case, her ex-boyfriend, he also is 22. Oh, of course, yeah. Then there was so then there was the death of Sebastopol mother Rebecca Young in a suspected murder-suicide by her partner. Then, of course, there was the mine collapse. Yeah, I'd forgotten about it. That was another tragedy. It wasn't a murder, but there was the mine collapse at the Ballarat gold mine, which caused the death of a 37-year-old man. Now, we did cover that. Then there was a serious injury. And in that mine collapse, there was a serious injury of a 21-year-old. And now the alleged murder of our Hannah, a jubilant educator whose death has solidified the ripples of sorrow through our community. So, yeah, so Ballarat really sort of, went through it in the early stages of this year. It was one thing after another. One tragedy after another. Hi, Pauline. Let me just make sure I've missed anybody coming in. I can see you're all chatting. That's good. I don't think I've missed anybody else coming in to chat. Did I say hello to Lily Paulie? I hope so. So also, I want to say hello to the people watching at home and also the people watching on replay crew. I always have problems saying that. I'm not sure why. So Ballarat might be a large, where's it gone? A big regional city, more than 100,000 people living there. But for the 30 years I've been here, it always has felt like a tight-knit country town. Less than 3 degrees of separation between us all. When one individual hurts, everyone does. Now, I think we did see that, didn't we? The Ballarat community did really come together, especially with Samantha Murphy. They were searching, weren't they? Helping with the searches until the police said they didn't want them to anymore. But there was Sausage Gate. Do you remember that? The big fuss over the missing tray of sausages at the barbecue after they'd been searching. But I think it did feel like a community. Sometimes big towns do feel like communities, when they're sort of like not quite a city. And this journalist says, I've worked as a journalist in regional Victoria and I've witnessed incidents that threaten to disrupt our social fabric. But the suffering of the last few months has really hit close to home. As a mother of 3 and someone who feels strongly about the building of vibrant communities, it's devastating to witness such hardship, as well as leaving residents anxious about the state of local affairs. These tragedies have women in particular feeling unsafe. I've wondered whether it's still a good idea to walk in the early hours of the morning outside my home. This time last year, I wouldn't have questioned it. Now, I think that would be definitely what Samantha Murphy's case has made them feel, because Samantha, she just got up in the morning, went for a run. She was training for like a marathon type thing. She went for a run as she always did, or often did, and just didn't come back. So I expect there's been a big change in the way women, I bet they don't go running alone anymore. Even though Patrick has been caught, if it is him, allegedly he's the murderer. But anyway, that's just a background to the case. So what has happened? Well, the reason it's in the news again is that Lachlan Young, his name is, who is 22, he's pled not guilty to the murder of young Cluneswoman Hannah McGuire. Now, the reason why this seems to be... now, I don't really understand the way the Australian court system works, but it seems that because he's now put in a plea, now, as far as I know, Patrick Stevenson has not put in a plea at all yet. So I don't know why that is, why he hasn't put in a plea, or I don't think he's put in a plea anyway. Let me just check, because it's been a little while. I don't think he has. Just check. No, he didn't put in any plea. And remember, his particular court case has been put off again, hasn't it? Because there's this massive amount of data, in his case. So it's to give the defence the chance to look over it all and that. So it was put, the next hearing for him will be, I think it's either October or maybe even November. I thought I had written it down somewhere on my calendar, but anyway, it's still quite a while. But he has not put in any plea. Now, will he put a plea in next time? Now, I wish I would have known that Lachlan Young was appearing via video link, because I would have been able to join the link like I did with Patrick's, but I didn't know. So maybe I'll manage to watch in the future. I don't really understand, as I say, the Australian system very well. It's not as transparent as the American one. So Lachlan Young appeared via video link in the Ballarat Magistrates Court this morning to formally enter his plea. And this means he's elected to progress his matter to the Supreme Court for a trial. So I think if he hadn't put in a plea, I think it has to be, I don't know, they have to prove that there's enough evidence for it to go forward. But because he's now put in his plea, it just goes forward. I think that's the circumstances. I need to do some research on this, because I really am, not au fait with the Australian system. So apparently he'll next appear in court in October for a directions hearing, which I'm not sure what that is. So Miss McGuire was reported missing by family in April. Her body was found later that day near State Forest Road in Scarsdale, southwest of Ballarat, in a burnt-out vehicle. And here he is. Honestly, I don't know how he managed to get that lovely girl. He's got a little mullet there and everything. Anyway, I presume he's, has he got a good personality? I don't know. He's not the best looking boy you'd ever see, but looks like everything. But if he's done what he's accused of doing, he's a complete twonk as well. So he's been charged with one count of murder over the death of Hannah McGuire. Hannah's family and friends are devastated, and dozens of Miss McGuire's friends and family appeared in court this morning wearing T-shirts in homage to her, and the shirts read, "She Matters." Nicole Van Berkel, who's a lifelong friend of Miss McGuire's parents, said she was devastated hearing the not guilty plea, because I suppose then they have to go through all the gory details when it comes to the trial. He could have pled guilty, but he's probably, I don't know, I expect his lawyer has advised him to plead not guilty. It's thought that he killed Hannah at her home, or their home, and then he put her in the car and set fire to the car. It's not thought that he killed her in the car. It's thought she was already dead when he took her off to put her there. So here she is with the T-shirt on. She Matters, remembering Hannah McGuire. Okay, so let's have a look at another news article. Oh, I've got a little video here. Oh no, that was so I'm going to be telling you about the GoFundMe as well. So a GoFundMe was set up for Hannah, or Hannah's family, and that all went wrong. We will be looking at that as well. Let me just put some windows down. I've looked at that. This is the video. Go back to the beginning.
McGuire's body was found in her burnt-out car in the Ross Creek State Forest outside Ballarat.
It is so scary to live in Ballarat right now. 2 doors down from me, I am scared. I've actually said to my husband, I want to move now.
So yeah, they describe her as sweet and kind-hearted. Honestly, sometimes I think the nicer you are, the more likely you are going to be red-rummed, because you know, these twonks, they get these nice people, you know, to have that one last chat with them, or oh please, you know, make them feel sorry for them. You know, please come and talk to me. All my mental health suffering. Oh, poor me. And then these nice people, the kind people, feel sorry for these twonks, go round, talk to them or let them in or whatever, and then they murder them. Yeah, so apparently this Lachlan Young, he posted on social media he would love her forever, and he told his friends, messaged his friends and said she'd killed herself. What a twonk, and so punching above his weight. What did she ever see in him? I don't know. She probably felt sorry for him. Yeah, so where it says there, the fundraiser that was started to raise costs to help her family, like in funeral costs, etc., the person who set it up stole the money. So there's a family statement. Thank you everyone for your love, support and kind words. Our hearts are broken. You weren't just the star to us, you were our whole damn sky. Miss you, princess. So it's giving, if you're in Australia, there's some numbers there for men and women who might be experiencing some sort of domestic violence. Because we must not forget that men do suffer domestic violence as well. You know, it's not only the majority of people the majority are men, of course, you know, doing it to women, but it's not exclusively, and we must remember that, because I expect that's really difficult for a man to admit that they're experiencing domestic violence. It's difficult for a woman, but I bet it's even harder for a man to admit it, I think. Anyway, the third woman who died was Rebecca Young. Rebecca Young was allegedly the victim of a murder-suicide when her partner allegedly killed her and then killed himself. But again, I don't know if it's been decided yet that that's what happened, but that was what was alleged to have happened. Let me just have a look at this, because it looks... Yeah, if I just show you this, it was a big thing at the time, obviously, all these 3 murders all around the same time, when normally, in a place where normally there aren't any murders. So here we've got Hannah. This is Samantha, of course, just before she went off on her run. Don't think this mentions the other lady. Yeah, on February the 16th, mother of 5, Rebecca Young, was found dead in a Sebastopol home, the victim of a suspected murder-suicide. Yeah, then there was the bushfires, of course, and a lot of people think that might be why Samantha has not been found, because of the bushfires, where they started deliberately to cover up a crime. And then, of course, there was the rockfall. March the 7th, Patrick Stevenson was charged with Samantha's murder. March the 13th, the rockfall at Ballarat gold mine killed the miner Kurt Horrigan. And on April the 5th, the body of 23-year-old Clunes woman Hannah McGuire was found in the burnt-out car. So there was a lot of things happened in Ballarat. In the early stages of this year, it was one thing after another. 3 murders, a mine collapse, bushfires. It was literally one thing after another. So now I'm going to have a look at the GoFundMe, because this was another terrible thing. This guy who set up this GoFundMe was supposed to be a friend of Hannah's.
Another blow for the family of murdered Clunes woman Hannah McGuire. Now a man's been charged with stealing from an online fundraiser organised to support them. Stephanie Anderson joins us. Steph, this will only add to the grief.
Yeah, certainly another really tough thing for them to have to process, Tom, but we've received confirmation today that 26-year-old Lachlan McGanty has been charged with stealing more than $60,000 from a GoFundMe page set up on behalf of Clunes Cricket Club in the wake of 23-year-old Hannah's alleged murder in April. Now, the cash collected was supposed to go to supporting Hannah's parents, Debbie and Glenn, but police have confirmed that the Winter Valley man is accused of stealing a huge portion of it between the period of April 25 and May 8. Now, McGanty is now facing 1 count of theft, and he'll have to...
Now, this is why I'm not really a lover of GoFundMes, because, well, unless they're set up directly by the person concerned, because it's a big temptation, isn't it? I mean, I don't know how he thought he would get away with it, really. I mean, once you set up a GoFundMe, I would imagine, I mean, it's transparent, isn't it? You go online, it's there, people can see how much has been collected. They can see, who the beneficiary is. They can see all the donations. So, I mean, it is transparent. I mean, it is public. So how he thought he'd get away with it, I don't know. But he set it up. I'm just going back to the beginning of that because I missed a bit of that. Why did he set it up and then think he could steal from it, and get away with it?
Another blow for the family of murdered Clunes woman Hannah McGuire. Now a man's been charged with stealing from an online fundraiser organised to support them. Stephanie Anderson joins us. Steph, this will only add to the grief.
Yeah, certainly another really tough thing for them to have to process, Tom, but we've received confirmation today that 26-year-old Lachlan McGanty has been charged with stealing more than $60,000 from a GoFundMe page set up on behalf of Clunes.
Oh, he's called Lachlan as well, so that must be a popular name in Australia. Oh my God, what's he got on his face here? It's a very strange photo.
Clunes Cricket Club in the wake of 23-year-old Hannah's alleged murder in April. Now, the cash collected was supposed to go to supporting Hannah's parents, Debbie and Glenn, but police have confirmed that the Winter Valley man is accused of stealing a huge portion of it between the period of April 25 and May 8. Now, McGanty is now facing 1 count of theft, and he'll have to front Ballarat Magistrates Court on June 20, Tom.
Stephanie Anderson, thank you.
So, I'm going to let me just have a look, see if I can find it. Let me just have a look, see if there's any GoFundMe up. That's the trouble with GoFundMes. You never know. You just don't know. Let's see. Oh, GoFundMe has refunded people, apparently. Let's have a look. So those who donated to the family of Victorian woman Hannah McGuire are being refunded by GoFundMe after their money was allegedly stolen. So apparently he established the GoFundMe on behalf of the Clunes Cricket Club, with which the McGuire family is involved, and it raised $65,000, or almost $65,000. Let me just share this, actually. Gosh. So, yeah, don't bother going out with anyone called Lachlan, I'd say. It's funny how the same names come up all the time. We do. Anyway, and there she is, lovely Hannah. So police confirmed that 26-year-old, God, he looked older than that, Lachlan McGuire has been charged for allegedly stealing $60,000. So $65,000 was raised, and he's stolen $60,000 of it. So GoFundMe confirmed they were proactively refunding all donors in line with their guarantees. Gosh, so does that mean that GoFundMe will be $60,000 down? Because I wouldn't imagine he's still got it. What did he do with it? Probably blew half of it up his nose. You know, what has he done with that $60,000? Do they get it back off him? Or do they have... I don't know how GoFundMe make their money. How do because they're not doing it. GoFundMe, how does GoFundMe itself, how does it exist? Does it have an insurance for things like this? So we take protecting Australian generosity very seriously, according to GoFundMe. We will always make sure that donations are used as intended. Our team is in contact with the McGuire family and will continue to liaise with them and authorities as required. And police alleged the Winter Valley man stole the money between April the 25th and May the 8th, and he's been bailed to appear before the Ballarat Magistrates Court on June the 20th. So Lachlan Morganti stole the money and Lachlan Young murdered her, or is it allegedly? Goodness me. So I wonder if he's appeared in court and if he's, let's see if I can find out what's happened to him. Has he been found guilty? No, there was an adjournment. Oh, he's going to plead guilty by the look of it. In August, it was said that he would probably plead guilty. Let's have a look at. Let's have a look at this little video.
Accused of stealing thousands of dollars in donations. Good evening. Hannah McGuire's loved ones have watched on as a one-time family friend faced court, accused of stealing thousands of dollars in donations made in her name.
Police allege cricketer Lachlan Morganti took nearly $65,000 to feed his gambling addiction. Crime reporter Gillian Lantour.
Gambling addiction. I thought there's got to be some... How do you spend $60,000 just like that? It's got to be either on drugs or gambling or, some, I don't know. So anyway, there you go. He's got a gambling addiction. So if he's got a gambling addiction, he'd be thinking, he's going to win loads more. That's how these people think. I think I've talked about it before on videos because I worked in bookmakers for years, worked for Ladbrokes. Seen it. You could pay them in Smarties. It's not about the money. It's about the winning. And whatever they win, they think they can win more. They can't stop. I mean, it is an addiction, to be fair. It's just like heroin addiction, alcoholism, just like anything else like that. If somebody is addicted to gambling, It could be, and do you know what? It can be anything. It doesn't have to be horse racing. It can be betting on the football. It can be bingo. It can be lottery tickets. It can be all those things. But somebody who's got a gambling addiction, that's exactly what it is. And, once they give it up, they can't ever gamble again, not even on the lottery. And it's funny, not even, because, I had a friend, her husband, he was a gambling addict and went to Gamblers Anonymous and gave up gambling. But they couldn't even buy a ticket in a little, you have raffles and things like that. They couldn't even, because she sort of stuck by him, and when he gave up gambling, she gave up gambling. But it's not just gambling, like I say, on the horses, the dogs, or whatever. She literally, so if we were somewhere and there was a little raffle, or so, she couldn't buy a ticket for the raffle, tombolas, all those things. They're all forms of gambling. And it's like, it'd be like an alcoholic just decide, I'll just have one little drink. I'll just have a little shot. It's not like a raffle or anything like that. Is just like having a little taste of that gambling addiction again. And it can just set you off again. And the next thing, you're back to stealing $60,000 from GoFundMe. God.
Chris.
Accused of dealing a bitter blow to people who once called him a friend. Why did you steal the money? Lachlan Morganti offered to help raise money for Hannah McGuire's loved ones after she was allegedly murdered. Instead, the 26-year-old is accused of pocketing the donations. You went to the funeral. Why did you take that money?
They do ask stupid questions, though, don't they? He's not going to talk to them, is it? That looked like his mum there that was getting really... Let's have a look at that again. So this lady... Let's go back where that lady's nearly punched her lights out.
Bitter blow to people who once called him a friend. Why did you steal the money? Lachlan Morganti offered to help raise money for Hannah McGuire's loved ones after she was allegedly murdered. Instead, the 26-year-old is accused of pocketing the donations. You went to the funeral. Why did you take that money?
Did you spend her money?
Was Hannah your friend? Morganti started a GoFundMe page on...
Well, there you go. There's a difference between being Hugh Edwards coming out of court for having child porn images on your phone. Nobody's allowed to get anywhere near you. But if you're just Joe Bloggs, so you don't get any protection, you get the reporters sticking the mics in your face. No police protection for that. Only for Hugh Edwards. And he committed even worse crime.
Behalf of the Clunes Cricket Club. Earlier this month, he was charged with theft. Police say he stole nearly $65,000 between April and May to fuel his gambling addiction. The man from Winter Valley on Ballarat's outskirts was flanked by two friends in court and shielded by his mum as he tried to leave. Neither wanted to answer any questions. Is your son remorseful? Morganti was an ally of the McGuires, even attending Hannah's funeral. And he was once a promising cricketer. Last year, the Renegades selected him as one of Victoria's 10 best community cricketers.
Well, so that's the end of his cricketing career, isn't it? And so thanks for that, Pauline. I wondered what that thing was on his face. But of course, you had to protect him from the sun, I expect. Yeah. So that's his career over with, isn't it? Because nobody, unless... I don't know. I think he pled guilty. That'll stand in his favour, just owning up to what he did. And if he has genuinely got a gambling addiction, I mean, it is an addiction, to be fair. It is like a heroin addiction or any type of addiction. So I would hope that the judge then will make him go for, help, go to Gamblers Anonymous or whatever. And gambling addiction is serious. I mean, people... as I say, I saw it in the book. It's really funny when you work in a betting shop because the different types of people that come in, and to me, it reminds me of sort of drinking or I don't know, smoking a spliff or whatever. Some people can do these things They can gamble, they can have a drink at the weekends, they can smoke a joint at the weekend, or they can, and still function, still, pay their bills, keep their family together, do all the things they're supposed to do. And they gamble. It's a bit of fun. I love a little bet here and there. It's like, but to me, if I lose, I don't think I've got to put any more money on it. And if I win, I don't feel like I've got to put it back on, because I don't have an addictive personality as far as gambling is concerned. Now, of course, when I was younger, I did it probably with alcohol, was a bit more, not an alcoholic, but once I'd go out and I wouldn't come home until I was pretty drunk. Not now, but so that's it. Some people, they can keep it together, say with alcohol or with drugs, but they can't keep it together with gambling, or vice versa. Everyone's got their little crutch, their little guilty pleasure, or but as long as it just stays as that, just something that's something to enjoy every now and again without taking over your life. But if it took over his life, to be fair, I don't know. Whether he was just, he could have been using that to play on the judge's sympathies. I don't know. At least didn't blame it on mental illness. It's a mental illness that made me steal that $60,000. At least he didn't blame it on that, as far as I know. But so I wonder what. I'm going to try and find out what his sentence was in a minute.
I believe I should be the Renegades recruit. Typically because I feel like I can do it all.
GoFundMe says the money he allegedly stole has been refunded to donors. Hannah McGuire's mum, Debbie, listened to the hearing via video link. McGanty's case was quickly adjourned until the 1st of July. He'll remain on bail until his next appearance. Hannah McGuire's body was found in a burnt-out car in April near Ballarat.
Oh.
The 23-year-old's ex-boyfriend, Lachlan Young, has been charged with her murder. Gillian Lantouris, 9 News.
So surely, if this next thing was in the 1st of July, surely they must have had a verdict by now. Let me just have a look. Jesus, sorry. I can't find a verdict. That's odd, isn't it? Has anybody heard of a verdict? There may be some of you that are in Australia. All I can find is where he was charged, but I can't find the verdict. Well, he's pled guilty, I suppose. I can't find his, what's the word? I can't find his sentence, let's say, then. Look on the Daily Mail. Oh, in the Daily Mail, it says that he said he regretted the pain caused to Miss McGuire's family and that his addiction controlled his life. And he said, I'm incredibly shattered and ashamed of myself, he said. I adore that family so much. I'm so sorry. I've added more stress and pain onto everything they were already coping with. I've had an addiction to online gambling for 3 years now, to the point where it's completely controlled my life. I can't get a sentence. Let's see if let's try again. Sorry, I just can't find anything. Oh, he's asked, apparently in July, he asked the court for more time as his lawyer reviews the case. So when is it going to be? So he was due to return to court in August. So why is his sentence not coming up? Anyway, I can't find a sentence for him. But maybe I'm missing something. I don't know what sort of a sentence I will get from, sorry, not that I will get, hopefully I won't get a sentence. I don't know what sort of sentence you would get for that. You know, they're I don't know, but a Hugh Edwards type sentence. Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, it is terrible what he did, don't get me wrong, but I think what Hugh Edwards did was a lot worse. And what annoys me with Hugh Edwards is, those the protesters for Just Stop Oil in that got 5 years in prison for just planning a demonstration, a protest. What's the, why are money, I don't know, it's you just think, children aren't valued, are they? And what sort of a green light is that to other child lovers, that they can see that, oh yeah, it's okay, have those things on your phone because you'll just get, suspended sentence and you don't have to worry about it too much. You probably won't get caught anyway, but if you do, this is the sort of sentence you're looking at. Just say it's mental health issues. So it's not a good deterrent, is it, to others? And obviously what Lachlan did was terrible. It is terrible, of course it is. But it's not, to me, it's not as bad as what Hugh did. But exactly, yeah. Las Vegas for gambling. Yeah, I'd be on those fruit. I'm not keen. I'm not a lover of fruit machines, to be honest. I'm not a lover of fruit machines. I don't understand them. I don't understand them, to be honest. That's why. You have to mess about with them a lot, don't you? And it'd be too much for me, that. So to be perfectly honest, I've never fancied going to Las Vegas. It doesn't really do it for me. But I mean, I would go if someone said to me, tomorrow, here's a ticket to Las Vegas. Of course I would go. But I don't think if I, out of anywhere that I could choose to go, I don't think Las Vegas would be, if I had to choose one place, I don't think it'd be Las Vegas. It's hot as well, isn't it? You see, don't want to go to hot places. I'd rather go to Iceland or somewhere different from Spain. But anyway, yeah, so the two Lachlans. So we've got Lachlan, who allegedly murdered poor Hannah. Let's have another look at Hannah. Let's have a look at her, bless her. Yeah, so poor Hannah, allegedly murdered by Lachlan, and then the other Lachlan stole the bloody GoFundMe money. Now, I'd like to know how that works. So, because do the family get that money? So if GoFundMe are refunding the donors, now, would somebody else set up a GoFundMe? So that's awful for a family, actually, isn't it? Because they were expecting to be able to use that money probably for a funeral. And because when someone's 23, you probably haven't got, death, any insurance for their funeral. You're not expecting them to need a funeral, are you? So I'll tell you what, if that other Lachlan is found guilty, he should have to pay all that. Oh, well, I suppose he won't be able to if he's in prison, but I just feel that innocent people, they always get shafted, don't they? It's like they are thinking they could count on $65,000, which would have been great to pay for the funeral, give her a good send off, and to be honest, I don't care if there's money left over. They went on a nice holiday to Las Vegas, because they bloody deserve it, because they've got that, they've had this miserable time. It doesn't bother me to think that if there's money left over from a GoFundMe. That's not what I don't like about GoFundMe. It's not what they do with the money. It's the fact that it always causes problems. But yes, David, I would love a cruise in the fjords. I would actually really love that. A river cruise, I would prefer. But I'm not good on water. But yeah, a nice cruise to see the Northern Lights or something like that. I would like that, definitely. Yeah, have you had no luck, Maria, finding it either? I can't find anything that tells me what finally happened. Maybe it's not finished yet. Maybe the court case hasn't quite finished yet, and that's why we can't find anything. But anyway, so there you go. The other Lachlan, Hannah's ex-boyfriend, he's pled not guilty. Oh my God, I would love to see the evidence, like in the American thing, you get to see if it was coming up to this case now, if it was an American case, or certainly in a lot of states, you'll be able to look at the evidence, as soon as it's disclosed by the defense team, then the prosecution team can access it, and then the public can access it as well, once it's transparent. But I don't think it works like that in Australia. So yeah, as you say, Pauline, what did people do before? What did they do before? Gonna have a look at the GoFundMe. How does GoFundMe work? See. So it says here the transaction fees are deducted automatically from donations. The person receiving funds will receive all funds minus these transaction fees. They can review what fees have been deducted under the breakdown portion of the transfers tab within their GoFundMe account. Let's see what they take. So GoFundMe take 2.9%. Transaction fee is 2.9% plus 30 cents per donation. So who owns GoFundMe? Don't tell me it's Elon Musk or someone like that. So the company was founded in 2010 by Brad Damphouse or Hoos and Andrew Ballister. So that they're supposed to be the owners. Let's have a look at the executive team. Right, well, let's have a look at the executive team of GoFundMe. So Tim Cadogan is the Chief Executive Officer. Gosh, strange, isn't it? So he's got a BSc from London School of Economics, an MPhil from Oxford University, and an MBA from Stanford University. So I think you could think he's quite clever. but he's on the boards of a few different things. And he was also a volunteer for Sierra Madre Search and Rescue for 7 years. Arnie Katz is the Chief Product and Technology Officer. Interesting. Soraya Alexander is the Chief Operating Officer. Greg Moreva, the Chief Financial Officer. Margaret Richardson. So, and the board of directors, we've got Andy Ballister, who's the co-founder of GoFundMe. Shada Caro del Castillo. So there's a right mixture of people. John Locke, Woody Marshall, Depelsha Magruder, and Monique Meche. Yeah, so there's a lot of people involved in it, I think you could say. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, what did people do before GoFundMe? I suppose they had a local whip round, didn't they? You know, that's what they would do. I do remember that years ago when my dad died and I had to go back to the UK and I didn't really have much money, you know, not where I live now, where I lived before, my neighbours had a whip round. Their neighbours, like from the local pub, the local bar that we used to go in, they had like what you'd call a whip round. And I can't remember how much money we got together. It was just, you know, to pay for my flight and what have you. It was lovely. And we quite often had things like that. Yeah, when I think about it, I think here in the expat community as well, as I say, not now, because where I live now, I'm amongst a load of Spanish people, it's different. But when I was more in an expat area, you know, you do get this community feel because you're all in this, you know, there's a lot of things you don't have in common perhaps, but one thing you have all got in common is you're all expats. So, you know, people do tend to get together if someone dies unexpectedly, or if it's someone's birthday, or I don't know, there's lots of different times where the local bars that people go in, and I never go in bars now, but I used to go in bars more. Then when I first came here, I wasn't working the first year that I was here, you know, because I came over with enough money to have a year that I didn't have to work, and you know, so I did go in bars more then. And of course, people got to know me because I had Jack, I had a little boy, and, you know, people get to know you when you've got children and that. So, okay, so that's it. So just thought I'd let you know what was going on in Hannah's case. And I hope that you all have a nice morning, a nice afternoon, or a nice evening. I'll be back for the members live later on tonight, probably 9 o'clock Spanish time. It'll be either 8 or 9 Spanish time. I have to see how the day goes. So thank you for watching as always. Please remember to like, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, well, rest in peace, Hannah. May your God go with you. But I'm going to play out with some of the photos of Hannah and a little bit of music, because Hannah is the thing at the centre of this. It's justice for Hannah, isn't it?